Hear me?
Yes, hey Maini, how are you doing? Uh, hello, hello, hello. Hey, I think I just froze for a second there.
Look, so don't worry, you are fine.
Oh, okay, all good, all good. Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Yes.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the chatbot that you had going on your LinkedIn.
Mm.
Uh, it's I get this feeling like, am I talking? Like I've had it on the phone and chat so far, and but it's always like if I say, "Are you a chat or an AI?" It may come across as rude if it's a real person. But yeah, it was really impressive how it worked.
Awesome. Cool. I mean, I don't think these days, people mind if you ask because many people are using it. And like you're right, you've got to be careful of those patterns. When I was talking to you, that was me. That wasn't the bot.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So there were only some parts of it, or
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you where I stepped in actually. Oh no, I can't. I can't. My VA's in my LinkedIn at the moment, so I can't go in. I'm banned for 2 hours. So
what banned for 2 hours? As in like she's in there, right?
yeah, she's in there at the moment. So it's like she's doing my work at the moment. So yeah, we I try not to go in between 10 and 12 while she's in there, just so just to keep LinkedIn happy. So
Oh, nice. No,
yeah,
LinkedIn
yeah.
happy? Like they watch out for that sort of thing, or
Look, I've never had any real problems. I did, however, on Friday get a notification from them saying that I was obviously using automation software and to slow down. Um, which
oh,
is ironic because on Friday my VA sent messages manually and it picked up on that. So it's like, yeah. So I just agreed to their silly terms and conditions and just continued on with what I was doing. So yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, I guess that's where they try to really crack down on it,
Mm.
because yeah, they don't want it to get flooded, but that's interesting how they picked it up. I was,
I had software run in the background, but it was only doing what it normally does every day, so it wasn't anything unusual. What was unusual though was that she was doing that manually. She must have messaged 300 people on Friday. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it was pretty huge. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we were just like,
wow.
because that's how we run our business. Every couple of weeks we do, a blast like that to keep conversations going and getting them moving again. Do you know what I mean? So yeah,
100%.
yeah. You've got to, right?
Yeah, you got to,
Yeah.
there's so many like relate conversations you have to have before they go anywhere, really.
Oh, yeah, you do. And like honestly, we actually should be recording this. Shall we start recording?
Oh yeah, it is recording. I can send you the recording afterwards as
Okay,
well.
that's great because we're already having an amazing chat. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, and honestly, it's really is the only way forward these days. Gosh, I've been in business 27 years. I've built 18 businesses from scratch. Every single one of them is a different monster. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? And this one's actually been the toughest I've ever created. Even with all my experience and all my knowledge, this one has been a real tough one. And I put that down to the fact that there's so much fake out there. There's so much AI coming in these days. There's so many people that are promising much and just absolutely failing to deliver
Mm.
over and over again. And there's a trust deficit. Do you know what I mean? The trust is completely gone. It's no longer something that people know whether they can trust or not, and that's why these days conversation and building rapport and building relationships is really the only way forward. What do you think about that with AI? What's your opinion on that?
I totally agree. I think it's a great way to be able to reach out to lots of people, but I think the value of this sort of thing where you get to see the other person until something happens, until this gets questioned too in the future, right? Is probably the most important thing, because, software's never been cheaper to make. People are making them everywhere, and is it actually safe? Like, who's behind that? Are they going to abandon it for something else? that comes along that catches their attention. So it's like, trust has never been more important, for sure. So that's what I've been finding. Even with SEO, like it's so easy just like pump out articles, and now, and I spent 4 years doing that, and it gets good traffic for the site. Uh, then looking at LinkedIn and YouTube, just seeing an actual person, even if they use AI to assist them, right, but actually seeing original thought and conversation yeah, it feels more valuable than ever, for sure. Well, like, you're seeing that from your point of view as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny that you say actually about writing blogs for 4 years. My best client is a massage chair shop in Miami, and we have done exactly that for him. We have written over 1,000 word articles on massage chairs, would you believe? And we're still going. It's like, it's funny, like, and I hope he doesn't see this because it might give him some ideas, but every month I sort of like send the bill out thinking, will I get paid this month? You know? And yep, bang, bang, bang. And he actually says that I'm his secret weapon because, I mean, obviously now he's built that up like you have, and it brings good traffic, and it's free traffic. Once you've paid for those, it just, it's the gift that keeps giving, isn't it, really?
It is, it is. And I think with SEO, I noticed that it's put a lot less emphasis on the what is level one informational type articles. Then more people were just going straight to the conversional, the transactional articles, just get straight to the answer. Because if they typing on ChatGPT, there are so many competing what is's that eventually they're going to say, give me a solution. And there's people have been building like thick level one article foundations for their website because they're thinking, oh, more keywords I'm showing up for, the more chances I have at funneling them up to a level 2 or level 3. Now it's like, well, GPT is sort of the level 1, so you can just do more level 3s. We don't have to like manage your resources just to build lots of these out. But then it does get harder. You actually have to like spend more time talking about the differences in strategy. Yeah, getting specific.
Absolutely. So you're from an accounting background, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm from an accounting background. My family started the firm in 1993. They came from Laos. They couldn't speak English, and then they somehow got an accounting degree. They started doing it, and it's all I remember. That's all I remember. So I watched them work hard. I wanted to avoid accounting generally, just based off how hard they worked. And I did accounting degree anyway, and I had a choice of, do I go work for another firm to learn and come back, or do I just spend time there? I chose to spend time there, but then I needed a mentor. So that's why I met Ed Chan and Wise when he taught me the ropes. And I guess I followed it well enough that he felt that, okay, you should go join Wise as a mentor yourself. And that's what I've been doing for 6 years, running the firm and then mentoring firms in their boards. And then I think it was through that experience where you get this, I got the privilege just to see so many firms across the board. And then, yeah, it got me thinking there are just some problems that kind of exist everywhere, that are probably worth solving with technology. So mainly, I don't know. I don't know if this is actually a podcast or whatever, but I'm just happy to chat with you. We don't have to do anything like that. But what is your background? Like, you do marketing and you're doing on LinkedIn. Like you said, this was the hardest business that you've ever made. Why is that? Like, what did you do before coming into this?
So, I mean, obviously, it's pretty much the same time frame as what your company's been going as well, 27 years. I mean, gosh, like like your parents would have started off in the yellow pages. Like gosh, it was so simple. Like, all you had to do was call your business AAA, something or other, pay a little bit more money to get a display ad. I mean, gosh, I even worked for Yellow Pages at one stage, so I knew exactly what I needed to do. And so when my husband and I, he was only my partner at the time, we'd only actually been together 3 months when we started our first business together. We met each other, we moved in 2 weeks later. So it's one of those, relationships. Here we are 25 years later, still together. Yeah, pretty amazing. But we started our first company. I was actually working at the Yellow Pages, and naturally being staff, I was able to get a bit of a discount on the ad, and we threw an ad in the Yellow Pages, and we started the mobile mechanics business of all things, because he was a mechanic, and it took off. It took off instantly. It was probably one of the easiest businesses I've ever, had anything to do with. I looked after, I actually left the Yellow Pages due to the stress, because it was a very high pressure environment back then. It was like sell, 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 sell. And you started off with like a portfolio. And if one of those clients that you hadn't dealt with yet decided to pull their advertising, you lost that off your total. So the whole time you were doing this back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it was really, really stressful, because you had a target to make, So that's basically where I started. We started with the mobile mechanics business. I'd had a commercial cleaning business a few years before that with a previous partner, and had built that up from 2,000 a month to 8,000 a month back in 97. So that's all right. And then lost the whole thing within 48 hours due to the relationship breaking up, and the nice gentleman pissing off at the car. So here I was, like a 24-year-old single female in Brisbane City, in the middle of the night, having to go and clean pubs and clubs by myself with no car.
But you did all of that by the time you were 24.
Yeah.
You're saying, wow, holy crap. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
That's so wow, that's mega entrepreneurial.
It is. But yeah, but I mean, like, I think that's always been part of my blood. My father was entrepreneurial, but he did not have any confidence in his abilities, so nothing ever floated. Do you know what I mean? But I think I saw that, and I saw his dreams, and I saw his visions, but it never went anywhere. And I mean, he died very young. He actually died when I was 24. So, which is a hell of a long time ago now. Yeah.
Damn, all of that happened at 24. That was just your turning point for many things, emotionally, family, and work, and wow.
Yeah. I mean, like, I was actually at one stage there before Yellow Pages, I was actually in a really stable government job as well in Queensland. I could have sat in that job until I was 65 and walked away with a nice gold watch and a nice super. Do you know what I mean? But I didn't. I ended up doing the commercial cleaning business and full-time jobs. So we were starting at 1 a.m. in the morning, cleaning restaurants and pubs until 7, showering, going to our day jobs, finishing at 5, and just basically falling over. And that was our life 24/7. Do you know what I mean? Until I built it up to the point where I could leave that big, secure job and start doing more. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's always a big jump, right? Do I give up something stable and then start a business, and then you took that leap? I honestly, I admire so much. I think I'm a bit privileged because I never had to make that sort of I never had to give something up in order to chase the next thing. It somehow always just fit into my day. But yeah, that's freaking amazing. So why is it now is the hardest type of business that you're making? It's to do with marketing and LinkedIn, or what is it really?
I think it's because of the way society is these days. The trust factor, as we mentioned earlier, is completely eroded. People don't know what's real. They don't know what's fake. They don't know who's real. And I think it's just so much harder, especially in the digital marketing industry, which is the one I chose, is because, let's face it, I don't think I've spoken to one person that hasn't been ripped off at least once by somebody who has promised much and just failed to deliver. So you're dealing with that hurdle before you even get started, if you know what I mean. You've got to get through that, and you've got to build that trust and that rapport. And I mean, even after you do that, I mean, I've got one client at the moment who's only been with me for 2 weeks, and already he's like, and it's like, hang on, we've just started the engine. Do you know what I mean? We've just started the engine. Your engine was cold, freezing cold. We've just hang on. And lo and behold, he came back to me on Saturday. He says, okay, he says, sorry, you were right. And he's got a lead. But it's not something that you can just press a button. It's going to be lead. It doesn't work like that. It's got to start warming up, and then it'll start going faster and faster and faster. So I think, as I said, the trust is not there. That people's patience these days, they have no patience. And I mean, I get that, because nobody wants to spend $2,000, $4,000, $6,000 and not see results. Who wants to do that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, and I think that that's part of the reason why this one has been tough. I mean, I'm used to making profit in the first 6 months of a business. This one took me 12. So
Marketing is definitely like that, right? Like you have to start off really gradual. They're not, you're working with companies that haven't been doing it before. They haven't had experience in it. And they're coming into it thinking, I'm ready to grow, so help me grow. But no, it doesn't just happen just because you want it. If it always just happened when you want it, that'd be like the easiest thing. Everyone would be doing it, like it
yeah,
wouldn't require any effort. Yeah, I get you. I remember doing the articles. It was working together with a partner firm, writing these articles together, doing the SEO research. It's the first year, it's things you got to get the content out there. It needs time to rank. It needs time to actually, people need to see it a few times before they get used to the idea of you and begin reaching out.
100%. Yeah, definitely. So tell me more about accounting and how you see AI having an effect on what's happening in your industry.
There's, I have so many, like, this is one of the hardest thoughts. I've tried to try say it in a succinct way because there's so many angles to hit it from. I think generally speaking, with public tax accounting, the the place in which client value is generated today is often at the client manager level. Like they would receive finished work from their team, they would review it and then go into the client approval meeting, right? Like sit down with the client, show them their final numbers, and think of some extra 2 or 3 points to bring up. The client feels like they got value out of it. That's obviously very challenging because they are going back to back on meetings. They're very busy, and their team doesn't really provide them enough insights because they're just busy trying to get the work done. So if anything, with AI, with accounting, it's that the client value getting generated now gets to start a lot sooner in that team structure, where that senior tax manager who is reviewing the work, hopefully work getting to them would be in a lot more of a complete state, if not just fully completed, and they would be able to be the ones to spend their time fully generating much more comprehensive analysis and insights that the client manager can take into their meeting. And I guess, when you break that apart, that's because the accountants are having AI and automation do more of their work for them. But AI is more than just the workflow automation. Its power is in the compression of information and the translation of it. So compression as in it can take a lot of things and compress a library of information and distill it into like 2 paragraphs of something compelling or an analysis. Like intelligence is the ability to compress, right? Like when we are in school, we read like a whole textbook. But then you go into an exam and it's 60 minutes with like 30 questions. We have to compress a whole year's worth of knowledge and then apply it in 60 minutes to demonstrate everything we know. Like code doesn't do that. Like pure workflow automation doesn't do that. It just does what can already be automated, but AI, it's that intelligence. Having that ability to compress information altogether into analysis means that the automation would just be a lot more complete now. There are just some things that it's not worth coding. Like there could be 1,000 different branches. It's not feasible to try and like code every single situation. Those points are where intelligence and judgment is required. So compression is, that's basically what that is. And then translation, it's translating from one medium to another. So you're looking at like 2 profit and loss statements, or you have a Zoom transcript, you have jargon or like some new ruling or regulation from the ATO, and it's not something that like a client would immediately understand. It needs to go through digestion and translation. They're expecting their accountant to explain it to them in layman's terms. But what the client doesn't expect doesn't understand is that even the accountant needs to understand it and go, all right, so how do I explain this in the simplest way possible? And in order to do that, you've met anyone, Manny, where you can tell someone really knows something when they can like give it like a simple analogy or they can explain it in a simple and understandable way. That's that's when they really get it. That's when they fully wrap their heads around it. And AI is able to do that. It's able to translate really well. It's can take something complex and then translate it into simple terms, give you different ways to look at it. It can translate natural instructions like make me a website for my e-commerce page, and all of a sudden it starts spitting out code. So those are the two main ways I've been able to think about AI capability and how it takes part in the workflow of an accountant's day to day. Yeah, ultimately giving us the ability to have the juniors and intermediates get a lot closer to finishing the work fully, having AI do at least some initial check of their own work. And my dream, like my hope, is that the seniors and the senior production managers spend more of their time analyzing and interpreting additional insights that the client managers can use into their meetings. It's the only way that a small medium business public tax accounting practice can provide more value for clients. Like we're not dealing with big four type clients where all this body of work is getting done by a whole team, and then there's a whole other team that can just spend all their time thinking on the implications of it. Like now, everyday businesses and families can go to their public tax accountant, their everyday accountant, and expect to actually get those insights. And I think that's crazy good. If everyday businesses and families can get the level of insight that some $100 million company can get from Big Four, like that experience, that has to be the biggest change in our industry. Um, yeah, I don't know, like it's probably the same in marketing, right? Where, oh, you're doing research for a client, at least they're from this industry, here's their goals, and do some sort of deep research, and already you kind of feel like it's not the complete answer, but it saved you 10 hours of research at that level, to get you going.
So, especially in writing articles, being able to, I mean, like last year I was writing articles on subjects I didn't know a lot about. I was working for a specific tech site that I didn't have a lot of knowledge. I'm not techie. Okay, I'm not techie. And, I was answering the questions that people were asking, and I was actually Googling the top articles on that and feeding those into our friend ChatGPT and asking it to spit out the bullet points so that I could make sense of what I was writing. And that's how I was able to write perfect articles for those clients, because without that I don't think I would have taken the assignment on. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, because it was so
Yeah,
techie, and I'm not a techie person. It's like, yeah.
but you have a great intuition for AI then. That means you have an
Yeah.
incredible, like not a lot of people they don't know where to start. Like it's an empty chat, they don't know where to start. But the fact that you gave it articles, asked for bullet points meant that you intuitively understand that its ability to distill the important parts of it. So you're not reading like 2,000 words and you're like, look, I'm losing track of what this is talking about. Just give me the bullet points. And you know what? Like suppose, put it in different examples so I can understand it. And then you were able to like then comprehend it. That's freaking amazing. Um,
Step further. So like I'd get 10 articles on the subject. So I had a broad range, and I'd say to it straight out, I'd say, so list the bullet points from most mentioned to least mentioned. So I knew what the important points were instantly. Do you know what I mean? And what I needed to base my article on and how I would write. And I might, if it was a tough one like the tech, I might even say to it, so like, give me a starter sentence or something that I can just sort of like, to help me out with the jargon, because I didn't know it. This assignment to do. I'd taken it on, and honestly, if it hadn't been for AI, I don't think I would have completed it to the client satisfaction.
right, right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I mean, that's the same thing with tax, right? Like I might focus on the business side of tax and accounting, but I am not a tax lawyer, right? Not even a tax expert as much as my team is. Like there are just a lot of things that they tell me that I just have to like take it to the side in the Zoom transcript and go, can you distill this for me? Can you like kind of like give it to me in different ways to understand? But yeah, look, I what I was hoping for, Maini, was I'm working on two technology startups right now. One is together with a very experienced chief technology officer that is kind of going underway. And the other one, we've been working on it for a year now. And it's been funded together with another accounting firm. And what I'm learning from that chief technology officer, because he's in his late 50s, he's had a lot of experience in startups and working for enterprises, was that he said the most important thing that I should be focusing on is being able to tell a story. Like being able to present myself, being able to tell a story, being able to distill my ideas into succinct and understandable ways. Like I said at the start, you asked me what is AI in accounting, and like I had like six, I don't even know, like I had six different ways I wanted to cover it, and it's not it's not digestible in a simple way. Where I think of my mentor Ed Chan, he was always able to teach me the business of accounting, and he always like was able to say it to me in a way where I could see behind it. Like he was never ever over explaining something to me. You know, he would always say, "Oh, you know, clients, they're like red ones and blue ones. A red one wants to talk about their family, and that's how you should treat them, and you should adjust yourself. And a blue one wants to go into the details." He's always had like he was always able to present things in a framework and organize his thoughts. But he's had a lot of years to kind of like put that together. Where I struggle is I might be involved with engineers, I might be across that side of things, but I know that the value of technology, like especially with these companies, is that somebody needs to tell the story. Like somebody needs to make it clear what exactly are we doing, especially when it's like it's solving problems in ways that people haven't quite imagined possible before. Like for example, with scope keeper, it's scope creep is a problem in every professional services firm. And we know it exists because we experience it. And it's like, well, AI is perfect there then, because it literally would just watch communication. You can take a piece of communication and compare it to an engagement and then ask it yes or no. Like just tell me simply yes or no. But then you want it to like happen every single time. And that's when normal code comes in. So automate the intelligence. And now it's there in the dashboard for me to be able to go, holy crap, I didn't even know that was happening in my company. That's Scope Keeper. And then there's Audit Report, which is where the chief technology officer, he's been experimenting with my data. He's hooked up what he's built into my Zero, and we've just been playing around with it. And it just sucks in all the raw data out of a client's Zero account. And it does this deep analysis through it. And what he was doing was he was trying to say, Thomas, I'm going to do all these things. I want you to like, I don't want you to tell me what to build. I'm just going to like push it to its limit. I want you to look at this and try and draw a picture out of how AI will affect accounting from what I'm showing you. It's been very challenging because I'll think about it one way and it's just like, no, you're kind of like thinking it's kind of like too like you're kind of like overdoing it, the thinking, like you're looking too far. Or then I'll say another thing and he'll be like, no, it's too near. And where he wants me to be is like answer, what does it look like 12 to 18 months? Like, how do you explain this story to accountants? From what I see, it's that client accountants might get their compliance done. There's, you know, that faster, whatever. Like we're always trying to make compliance and accounting work faster. But what he showed me was it sucked in all this information and did 40 to 60 hours human time of analysis where, and I'm trying this in my firm now, where it would present opportunities that we can bring to the client that are like 5 or 10 times worth the current engagement value. Like, yeah, we did your company tax return, but did you know that if we could put a number to how much ATO risk that you were exposed to right now, it's in the order of like $200,000 to $300,000. Like, did you know this? Like I've never sat down and given you this number. That's not something we've had time to do. But looking through your accounts, the ATOs using AI, so we use our own AI to protect you. This is what it's saying. And you actually, if you want to solve this problem, it's these whatever items you need to fix in order to do that. And the crazy thing I'm seeing is in all these accounting firms, they've already been underserving their clients, right? They didn't have time to do that sort of advice. But now it's just there. Like the moment they finish the work, it's there. It's and I think that's an incredible change. So I don't know, like I'm my mind is so scattered. I'm there, I'm meeting with the boards of the firm, I'm talking with my own team in TMS internally. It's like how does this become a single narrative? I'm trying so hard and it can't come together. I'm seeing it all in pieces. I don't know if that's something you can help with. Yeah.
So to educate accountants on what this can actually do for them, how it can actually help them, avoid pitfalls for their clients. Is that what it's doing, or?
Yes. Um, I think the question is like how do I draw on all those things? It's like a GPT project, and someone just uploaded all these attachments of transcripts and notes, which is like it's like what in my head, and then asking GPT to produce a cohesive narrative for me out of all of this, so that it is I can educate, yes, I can educate accountants that in 12 to 18 months, and tell them that this is how AI is going to impact accounting based off how I'm seeing it applied today. Because no one, however which way I applied it today, it might be the most focused use of AI and working with people who have actually used, and they're telling me that I don't know anything about accounting. I'm just gonna do it. And then you infer what capabilities, what that means for accountants and how does it change people's roles. And everyone says on LinkedIn that, oh, we get to do more advisory, we're doing less compliance, get to spend more time with the clients. And I go, yeah, I don't disagree. It's just, what does that mean exactly? Like what does that exactly mean? Right. And so I think the value is we can all agree that that's where it's headed, but how exactly, like what is it? If I could point to the way a team is structured today, which I understand clearly, how do I explain what a team would then work like in the future, drawing on what I've seen so far? So I'm not just purely speculating that I am kind of like like inducing, okay, I'm seeing all these various bits and pieces. How do I draw a picture around that? I'm not sure what I'm asking but this is generally like a story. A person who's experienced in stories can kind of help put together, because I don't know. I'm seeing parts of a world. I don't know how to communicate that. I don't know how to think about it.
It grabs over every industry you've got. It's basically, you've got to find the pain points. Okay, and you've got to tell a story. You've got to take them from before and after, basically. So, like, and start with obviously a great hook. So, an example was my post on Thursday last week. I was talking about a client I had that owned a bridal store. And when she hired me, she was selling 2 or 3 wedding dresses a month. And after I did her Google and her Google, that's what we focused on, she was then selling 20 to 40 per month. She was getting up to an 1,800% return on investment. She was turning over $66,000 a month rather than the 10,000 she was when she started with me. Do you know what I mean? So these are the wins. And so what you could do in that situation is you could make similar stories of people. And I mean, yeah, I'm sure you've tested this. You can talk about the things you've tested and the results that you've seen and
Mm.
the 3 steps that you took to get there. And if they want the full story, they can, you know, connect with you, or you can give them a free download or an explanation of more detail. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm very, very lucky at the moment to be working closely with Matt Lakajev. I'm sure you've seen the name on LinkedIn. He's quite big. Lakajev. He's, yeah.
Yeah, he's been I think he Matt Lakajev. Yeah, he's been
Yeah.
sending me back and forth, but I didn't know what like he was really about. Like it's all like LinkedIn influencing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like, so he's my mentor. Currently,
Yeah.
I'm in his mastermind class. I'm working very closely with him. I mean, like, obviously, I mean, this is exactly the thing. I mean, obviously, I know a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know how to crack LinkedIn. Same as what you're asking me now. You've got a lot of knowledge, but we don't know everything. And what I'm being taught there is like to simply do the before and afters. And I mean, it makes people sit up and take notice. I mean, we got her $500,000 in 6 months in sales from Google Ads. Do you know what I mean? So people see that and they go, wow. Do you know what I mean? So because we're solving a problem, we're solving their biggest problem, and that's, you know, cash flow. Are there many bridal stores on LinkedIn? Probably not. But I mean, that I could use that story like half a dozen times for retail stores. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a bridal store. It could be something else. You know, and I think it's just about, you know, working out your pain points for what this can actually save them, what it can actually do for them. And that's the story you tell. You talk about like experiences. You talk about John at ABC Accounting did this, you know, had this problem, and you implemented this, and you did this, you did this, you did this, and this was the result. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. And I mean, like on LinkedIn, the other thing you've got to remember too, if it's LinkedIn that you're wanting to attract people to or from, do you know, then it's you've got to just make it like simple. Like you don't have to write a huge story. Like it's just make it simple, put space between it, because people scroll. People are just scrolling through, and they've got to have something that catches their eye, something that goes, hey, oh, this looks good. Maybe this guy can solve my problem. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I've learned on LinkedIn. That's what works on LinkedIn, because like here you and I are with the system that I'm doing. You and I are on this interview right now, and we wouldn't be here if A, I hadn't reached out, B, I hadn't had a conversation with you. That's the other side of the coin too. I'm not talking just about storytelling here. You've got to build those relationships. And so what you would need to be doing is doing a bit of both, doing a little bit of the storytelling, but also connecting.
How is
And
say having a conversation with someone on LinkedIn different to say you've got their email and now you're chatting with them? Is chatting through an email more intimate of an experience than chatting on LinkedIn?
actual figures on that. But let's face it, how many freaking emails do you get every day that you just go delete, 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 delete? Do you know what I mean? It's like you get a message on LinkedIn, you get a ding, you get like, you know, you see that it's not a sales pitch. I mean, because God, who's sick of those? Everybody's sick of those sales pitches. It's like, boy, do I have a deal for you. It's like next, next. It's the same as the emails, you know, it's like next, next, next. It's interesting because I have actually done some email marketing earlier this year, but I've actually cancelled it because it takes too long to get going. I mean, I'm getting a much better result through DMing on LinkedIn. Much better result. I mean, here we are.
Yeah,
You know,
I prefer LinkedIn. Like,
yeah.
I've been debating with somebody around like, oh, he's like LinkedIn is I think people have a view towards social media, and then it ends up they think that it might be less personal of an experience than say email would be. But then here it feels like a chat. You feel like you're already chatting with someone.
Well, I mean, it's more instant as well on social. I mean, sure, it can be back and forth by email, but that can be annoying because, like, I don't sit on my email all day, but I do sit in LinkedIn most of the day, except for 10 to 12 when my VA is. Won't say any more there. We'll just chop that bit out. But that's
Are you
exactly the
actually,
thing.
Sorry, are you actually gonna make this a thing, like a recording?
Yeah, I
Um,
will. I'll actually, if that's okay with you, because I mean, yeah, because this is great for both you and I.
okay, all right,
Yeah.
okay.
I might just, what I'll do is I might just do like a little bit of a post or something like that. And just even just have a still picture of us that, that I was talking to Thomas the other day and we talked about A, B, and C. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? It's like,
If you did do that, was it okay if I reviewed the recording
yeah,
beforehand? Was that okay?
sure. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine. That's
yeah.
fine. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I don't do anything that you aren't going to be happy with, obviously.
Well, I mean, as long as whatever, like no, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I gotta learn to do that better too. And yeah, that's something I've been trying to practice.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I mean, like you've got expertise in this area. I've got expertise in this area. I mean, this is just a chat. This is what people want to see. People, especially on video, I mean, they talk about video not being huge on LinkedIn. It's probably not, but it's also a great touch point. People get to see me, they get to hear me. They get to,
Mm,
it's not just a message, it's not just an email. They get to actually see me, like my personality. Do you know
that's
what I
right.
mean? So I don't think a lot of video on LinkedIn is necessary, but I mean, gosh, I mean, I don't know whether you saw my post today, but I was in a flash mob this weekend. So yeah, I was actually in a flash mob. I actually got one of the solo parts as well. So I've put that little video up on LinkedIn today. Like, yeah, why not? It's something wild. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Like what? You just found yourself in that situation and was it
No,
uh
it's something that was set up. So we actually did 5 hours training last Saturday. Not Saturday's gone, Saturday before, we did 5 hours training, we learned the dance. And then it was for a 3 minute performance. And so we actually did it at a festival on Saturday. And it was just like, we were all just mingling around, like, all ready to go. And the song started, and the two girls started in the front, the trainer. And we knew exactly when we had to come in and what we had to do and like do our moves. And it went off perfectly. It did. There's about 16 or 17 of us, just like, and we just all like came straight in and started the moves. So
oh my God. Oh my God. That's you've got such confidence behind you, Manny. Like some people are really limited by that. I think I would be. I think outside of my office room, I'm pretty introverted. I'd be pretty quiet. Like but that's amazing. You can put yourself out there. It's like the drama, like kids who like the students who did drama. I'm like, I wish I did that just to get over that feeling.
no, it's funny. I mean, like, I never used to be that way. I mean, I've always been so into musicals and stuff like that. I mean, I can sing like an angel, I can dance, I can move, and it's like I never had the confidence to do it. But I've done a shit ton of work on my mindset on with NLP, and
Mm,
I mean, neuro linguistic program. It has changed my life completely. Like I find it interesting now, watching what I call normal people, because
mm,
I'm clearly, there's nothing normal about me. Okay, there is nothing normal about me. But I find it interesting because even the dance instructor come up to me on Saturday and she goes, "So how are you feeling? You right?" I said, "Yes, it's all right, don't worry, I'm fine." No nerves. There was no anxiety. There was nothing, and like I just had the time of my life.
mm.
Do you know what I mean? I didn't care who was there. I mean, my husband was there, my son was there. They were both filming it. It was like, make sure you get it close up. Come on. It was like, it's like,
Wow.
yeah, because I don't have those emotions anymore. I don't get nervous. I don't, I mean, there's still some things that get me. I mean, I'm not that comfortable on glass bridges when there's like 30 stories below me. I'm not that comfortable. I can do it, but I'm not
Mm.
comfortable. But it's like, yeah, when it comes, I mean, we're all already organizing the Christmas flash mob, but I'm addicted. I am doing this constantly now. That's it. I'm addicted.
Wow. I wouldn't be scared of like the glass bridge thing because I'm like, okay, I can understand you're claiming that it can carry like this much weight.
Yeah,
Um, but once you do a flash mob thing and you're out there, it's like, wow, now anybody can see this. Like, and
yeah,
I think that's the hard thing about trying to communicate a story or an idea is that it's like obviously when you communicate a story, you have to cut details out because there otherwise it would just not be interesting. But then it's like then to make it compelling and interesting, you think, oh, that person from this side of the industry is going to go, no, that's not telling the complete facts. And then this person will go, no, that's not telling the complete facts. And then there's this balance of how does it, like what in what shape do you get it into? Yeah, I don't know if I could relate it to that.
Putting that as comments on your post, you mean that?
Yeah, or like, okay, if you try to explain, like you're doing a flash mob, right? You're doing a flash mob, and then you go, this is what made the flash mob successful. This is why I think it was successful. This is how we organized it. And then someone who will be from like event planning going, here's my perspective. I think the best way you should have done it was like this. And you're giving out the wrong advice. Or then some other person will go, no, you're not telling the complete story of like, what work it went into this. There's a lot more effort that went into that than you think. And then you're thinking, I can't write a novel. I can't. Yeah.
Here's the thing, Thomas. Slow. To, to find out in the comments of your post. Let it go. It's going to be. So let them go.
Maini, your mic. I think I'm losing your mic there. I was losing. Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, it was like dropping out just then.
I was probably getting more excited. See,
Yeah, you were.
that's exactly what you want to have happen on your posts, okay? Because let them get excited. Let them fight it out amongst them. Because at the end of the day, it's adding things to your post. The algorithm's going to go nuts. It's going to send it viral. Let them fight it out. Let them do it. Like, thank God that they're that invested in what you've written that they're going to argue the point. Does that make sense?
Oh, right.
Yeah, you want that to happen. Honestly, like I was actually with Matt on Wednesday down in Sydney for the day. And that's one of the things he said. He said it's been great when he's had posts that he's done that are really controversial, and people have had arguments in the comments. He said it's been brilliant because you just sit back and you just get the popcorn out. Do you know what I mean? And it's like this, because they're doing your marketing for you. That's going to push it out further. That's going to get more eyes on it. Do you know what I mean? Let them fight it out. Let them argue. It's engagement. It's engagement.
So it's not, I guess the way I've been thinking about it is like, it's like a research paper and then you get peer reviewed, but it's not like that. It's no one's, it doesn't need to be so comprehensively complete of a theory. It's just an aspect of it. And if people are arguing, that's great in the first place.
Amazing. It's because it's in social media when you've got something that gets lots of comments on it. I mean, gosh, half of those comments, people read them just for the laugh. Come on. Just, they do. It's like, I mean, there's actually there's a suburb here on the Sunshine Coast. It's called Nambour, and it's not known as the classiest suburb on the coast, right? And I was actually part of the community board for a while because it was just a fun read. It really was. Somebody will put something up complaining about something, and the comments that just come in after it is just like, it was hilarious. And you could sit there and just be chuckling away at these comments. The post just kept getting more and more and more and more, and it just keeps getting people pushed up. Like, yeah, honestly, you want that. You want to be able to get that. You've got to be, you've got to step out of your shadow and stop being afraid of what might happen, because what might happen might be awesome. Does that make sense?
That is such a good mindset. I've never, this is so new to me, Maini. Like I've always just worked with firms. I've worked inside a company. I've worked with teams. I've done webinars and little small masterclasses, but usually people are already like across whatever like school of thought we're going on about here. But what you're saying is you want to sort of incite debate.
100%, absolutely. My post on Friday was controversial. When I did on Friday, and it was just basically, so if I remember rightly, it said something like, your goal on LinkedIn isn't to be famous, is not to be famous. Yeah, your goal is not to be famous on LinkedIn, because you get so many people that are just constantly tied up with getting the likes and the comments and everything else, and all of those are great. But if their comments aren't coming from your audience, the one audience that you're going after, if they're not inducing people looking at your profile, if they're not reaching out, if people aren't reaching out to you in the DMs, if they're not sparking conversations, if you've got a download on it and people aren't downloading your stuff, then it's pointless. I mean, everybody goes for viral, and sure, the dopamine hit is great when it does. It's incredible, but it's not gonna, it may not equate to sales. You know, I mean, I've had people tell me that they've had a post that's got 2,000 comments on it, and 80% of those people haven't been their ideal clients. 80%. But that's okay, because the 20% that are, see this person that's got 2,000 comments on their post, and it's like, holy shit, I need to learn from this guy or that person. Do you know what I mean? And that's the important thing. So it's not about the likes and the comments. I mean, and you can't live for that. You've got to live for, you know, getting your information out there, but, you know, being controversial, like standing up and saying, hey, I know you guys are worried about AI taking your jobs, but that's BS. Here's what's really going to happen. It's going to save you this. It's going to do this. It's going to help you here. So why are you so afraid of AI? Kind of, do you know what I'm saying? Like along those lines, that kind of thing. You know, if you want the full story, click here. They go to a landing page, you get their name, their email, their phone number, and you start building that rapport and that relationship, and it keeps going and going and going until you get a message like Matt got from me 4 months ago after I watched him for 6 months. I watched this guy for 6 months because I have been ripped off. I have been done over. And I wanted to make sure he was the real deal.
How much does it, like, how do, like, I could ask, I didn't reply to his recent message like 3 days ago, but like, well, how much does it cost to be part of his masterclasses or masterminds, or how does it work?
Okay, so, I mean, obviously his offers are changing all the time. And obviously we'll cut this out because, you know, we don't want that out there for him. So it started at $3,000, which is not a lot. That was US, so it's not a lot. So I've now gone into the 7-figure academy with him, so that was a little bit more. But that's only brand new, so I'll keep that under wraps. But, you know, and I mean, that's actually funny you asked that, because after watching him for 6 months, that's exactly the message I sent him. I sent him and said, all right, fine, what will $3,000 get me? But, you know, I downloaded 11 of his freebies. I watched his videos. I watched, you know, his posts. I saw him getting, you know, 100, 300, 500, 1,000 comments on his posts. And it's like, after 6 months, I finally thought, oh, bugger it. Because I wasn't cracking this on my own, being a different monster. Even someone with my experience, I wasn't cracking it on my own. So how can somebody who's just starting have a hope if they don't get help? Do you know? Yeah.
Maini, this has been an awesome chat. I'm gonna have to jump off. I'm gonna meet with my dev team real soon. Thank you for all your insights. And like, I think that my biggest takeaway from this has been how I've been seeing it totally wrong. It's not about putting things on there that are correct. You know, it's not like here is a correct view. It's actually, yes, we want to educate people on the correct view, but they're only going to get there by first inciting a debate. And they kind of will get there. They're just not, they can't just be like, here's the answer. Like, you know, that's the answer, take it. It's more like, what debate would lead people towards that answer? Is that right? Like, is that a correct way to think about it?
That's what I'm doing. I mean, it all comes down to the storytelling that we talked about as well. Do you know what I mean? And like, you know, just like those pain points. I mean, let's be really honest. Like when people find you on LinkedIn, there's really only 2 things that they want to know. They want to know, can they trust you? And can you solve their problem? That's the only 2 things they're interested in. You build that trust by DMing and showing up and offering free downloads and doing all that kind of stuff. That's how you build the trust. And then you build that, yes, they can solve my problem because of those things as well. The information you're giving, the help you're giving. And yeah, throw in something controversial. I mean, Matt does it all the time. It's like he's I was doing newsletters there for a while, and I'm still doing them, but I've sort of slowed down a little bit because he put up there, he says, these people that think that newsletters work suck. And it's like, do you know what I mean? But it was like, I don't know if that was the exact words, but it kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's just the thing. And that's where he starts off the controversial stuff. But he doesn't just do that, he does other stuff as well. If you go look at his post, it's like, you know, my client got this result and this result, here's how we did it. Bang, bang, bang. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. No, Manny, you're giving me so much to think and work on, and ideas are coming to me now, and I think I'm gonna try a few things this week. I'm gonna try a few things this week.
Awesome. My work here is done.
Well, yeah, look, thanks, Manny. Look, if I have any like we're a bit early days with these projects to do SEO, Google marketing. And I'm just trying to like get my voice right, my story, my mind, and my voice right. That's what I've been trying to work on and working with the engineers, trying to make sure they get it right too, from what we're building. And yeah, no, I appreciate spending the time to be able to have coffee with you today, Manny.
Right. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? It just has to be out there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. No worries. I hope I've been helpful.
No, you definitely have. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks.
Cool. Great.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.